Hold up. You thought you knew all there was to know about Durk, right? Wrong. Because what we've just uncovered is about to shatter everything you thought you knew about Von's murder and the people involved. Durk's brother, yes, you heard that right. Caught red-handed in the most explosive court audio leak of the year. But wait, don't get comfortable just yet. What's coming next will make your jaw drop. A new audio leak has surfaced, and it's more shocking than anything we've heard before. The truth about the murder plot? It's worse than you could have ever imagined. You think you've seen it all? Think again. The evidence that's about to be exposed will send shockwaves through the hip-hop world and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about Durk and his brother's involvement in Von's tragic death. But here's the real kicker. Who's really behind this? Is it all a giant cover-up? Or have we been living in the dark about the true extent of the plot all along? Who can you trust when everything seems to be a lie? Buckle up, because this scandal is about to go into overdrive. You won't believe your eyes when you hear what's coming next. Stick with me, because this is just the beginning. Durk's brother, huh? You thought you knew the family dynamic, didn't you? The superstar rapper and his empire. The tragic death of King Von. It shook the streets and left fans heartbroken. But what if I told you that the story isn't over yet? That there's a deeper, darker layer to this whole mess, and it involves none other than Durk's own brother? Yeah, that's right. The very same family member who's been silently lurking behind the scenes while the world watches. Caught red-handed in a shocking audio leak, one that could unravel everything we've believed about Von's murder and the people behind it. Let's not beat around the bush. This audio leak doesn't just hint at what happened. It exposes the truth in a way that's going to make your head spin. It's got everything: betrayal, deception, and a shocking plot that's been hidden for too long. But the real question is, how deep does this rabbit hole go? And who exactly is involved? We're talking about a conspiracy so thick that it's almost too unbelievable to comprehend. But the proof? Well, it's right here in front of us. For years, Durk's brother has stayed in the shadows, away from the spotlight, while Durk has been leading the charge in the hip-hop world. But now we're learning about his role in Von's murder plot, and it's about to get ugly. When you hear the leaked audio, you'll start to piece together the connections, the shady dealings, and the truth that the media has been too scared to touch. But first, let's talk about the history of the situation. We all know the story. Von was tragically shot and killed in a senseless act of violence, and Durk has been vocal about his loss, using his grief to fuel his music. But behind all the pain and sorrow, there are whispers, murmurs on the street, of something more sinister. You don't just lose someone like Von and have nothing else at play. No, there's more going on here than what the media has been telling us. The leaks? They've been slowly coming out, like little drops of water from a cracked dam. But this latest one? This one is a flood, and it's threatening to wash away everything that's been built. The audio we've gotten is from a high-profile court case, one that's been under wraps for months. Sources close to the investigation are saying that the courts have been sitting on this for a while, and now it's all coming to light. So what's in it? Let's just say this isn't just a casual conversation. This is the moment when everything changes. One of the key figures in this drama is Durk's brother. For years, he stayed out of the public eye, avoided the media, and let Durk take the lead. But now, with the audio leak hitting the headlines, people are starting to ask questions. What was his role? Why has he been so quiet? And what is it that he's been hiding? The more we dig into this, the more it seems like Durk's brother wasn't just a passive bystander in this whole thing. He was actively involved in what went down. And as we dive into the court records and the leaked audio, it becomes clear that the whole situation has been more of a cover-up than anyone ever realized. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The audio leak, as shocking as it is, isn't just about revealing who did what. No, it's about intentions. What were the plans behind Von's death? Was it really a random act of violence? Or was there something bigger at play? The leaked audio paints a picture of a planned, calculated move, one that's been in the works for a lot longer than anyone expected. And Durk's brother? He's at the center of it all. What we're hearing in this audio isn't just a conversation about a shooting. It's about a long-standing conspiracy, a plot that involves multiple people, multiple layers of deception, and most importantly, a cover-up that's been designed to protect the people behind it. And who's been trying to keep the truth under wraps? The powers that be, the ones who have been controlling the narrative from the beginning. Durk's brother has been right there, involved in the mess from the start, playing a role that most people never saw coming. Now it's time for the world to know. As the audio continues to unravel, we get a clearer picture of what happened that fateful night. The details are shocking, and the more we listen, the more it becomes clear that there are major players in this game, people who thought they were untouchable. But now, the truth is coming out, and these people, they're not going to get away with it. Durk's brother, who's been living in the shadows, is now front and center in this deadly plot. And the leak? It's just the beginning. But what does all of this mean for Durk? For his career, his reputation, and his family? When the public learns the truth, will they still stand by him? Or will this be the moment when everything comes crashing down? Durk's name is attached to this scandal now, and no amount of fame or money can erase the truth that's coming out. This scandal is bigger than just a family dispute. It's about power, manipulation, and a plot that's been brewing in the shadows for far too long. And as the audio leak spreads, more people are starting to ask, what else is being hidden? This is the beginning of the end for the narrative we've been fed about Von's murder. Everything is about to change, and we're just getting started. Keep your eyes peeled, because the next chapter is going to be even more explosive. As the bombshell audio leak spreads like wildfire, the weight of what it reveals becomes more and more apparent. This isn't just a random, isolated event, no. This is a calculated attempt to change the narrative. This is the kind of revelation that shakes everything to its core. And the deeper we dig, the more we realize that Durk's brother was far more involved than we ever could have imagined. Fact that Durk's brother has remained out of the spotlight for so long is what makes his role in Von's murder even more sinister. In the beginning, the world knew Durk, the rapper, the artist. But his brother? He's been in the background, a ghost in the machine. But now he's the center of this storm, and it's becoming clear that his involvement was key to what happened that night. And let's be honest here, if you think this was just about a random act of violence, you're mistaken. This wasn't a coincidence. This wasn't a heat-of-the-moment decision. No, what we're dealing with here is a master plan, one that's been carefully orchestrated for much longer than anyone could have guessed. The audio leak doesn't just expose the role of Durk's brother. It exposes the entire conspiracy behind Von's death. Now let's break it down a bit further. The leaked audio reveals chilling details of conversations that happened leading up to that fateful night. This wasn't some spur-of-the-moment altercation. This was a premeditated, cold-blooded operation. Durk's brother is heard discussing the details of the plot, how it was planned, how it was set into motion, and most importantly, who was involved. These aren't the words of a casual bystander. These are the words of someone who had a plan in place. You can hear the tension in the audio. There's a certain coldness to the way the individuals speak about Von's murder. It's as if they're discussing something as routine as scheduling a meeting, but what they're actually talking about is the taking of a life. This wasn't just a dispute. This was something far deeper. The tape reveals that the people behind this weren't just trying to silence Von. They were trying to erase something far bigger, something that, until now, has been hidden in plain sight. Now, you may be asking, who else is involved? Who's in on this conspiracy? Well, as the investigation heats up, more and more names are starting to surface. While Durk's brother is at the center of it all, there are whispers about others in the industry who may have known more than they let on. It's not just family, folks. This thing goes much deeper than we thought. As the public reactions to the leak start to pour in, things are getting more complicated. Fans are divided. Some are still supporting Durk, claiming that his brother's involvement is exaggerated or fabricated by the media. They argue that this is just another attempt to drag the name of one of hip-hop's biggest stars through the mud. But then there's another group, the ones who are starting to connect the dots. These aren't just casual followers. These are the people who've been paying attention to the inconsistencies in the story from the beginning. There are even claims that certain figures in the media are already backing away from Durk, distancing themselves from the rapper as this scandal intensifies. The support is beginning to dwindle and the damage is done. The people who once helped build his empire are now taking a step back, unsure of what the future holds. And don't get it twisted, the public is hungry for answers. Every interview, every statement, every post by Durk is under intense scrutiny. They want to know, is he involved? Is he really as innocent as he's been making himself out to be? Or is this the beginning of the end for him and his legacy? The financial ramifications are also huge. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar empire, folks. One that could come crashing down if the truth about Von's murder becomes public. Knowledge. Durk has always been known as a businessman, not just a rapper. But now, those business ventures are under threat. The streets are talking, and if these revelations continue to come to light, the people who have been funding Durk's projects, the investors, the big names behind the scenes, might start pulling out. The media has already turned on him, and once the public starts to turn their back on you, there's no going back. And speaking of the media, the way they've handled this scandal so far is interesting. At first, they treated Von's murder like just another headline, another tragic story to report. But now, they can't get enough of it. Every piece of leaked audio, every snippet from court documents is being scrutinized and shared like wildfire. The media knows that this is a gold mine, and they're milking it for everything it's worth. But with each new revelation, the story becomes even darker. They're not just digging into the murder itself anymore, they're diving into the conspiracy, the cover-up, and the people who have been trying to keep this whole thing under wraps. The question on everyone's mind is, what now? What happens when the full truth comes out? Is Durk going to stand by his brother? Or will he turn his back on him to save himself? Will the truth finally be too much to handle for the family, the fans, and the industry as a whole? And the fallout doesn't just end with Durk. The audio leak suggests that there are more people involved, people who have been hiding in plain sight, people who thought they were untouchable. But guess what? This time, they're not. As the investigation goes deeper, more players are being pulled into the mix. The public is starting to demand answers, and it looks like no one is going to be able to avoid the spotlight for much longer. So, as we wait for the next twist in this ongoing saga, one thing is for sure, this story isn't over. The audio leak is just the beginning, and the more we uncover, the more we realize that there's a lot more to this than we ever could have imagined. Stay tuned, because things are about to get even crazier. We're just getting started. Now, let's talk about the fallout. The storm that's brewing right now, it's not just going to pass quietly into the night. This is a tidal wave, and it's crashing down on everyone involved in this sordid mess. Durk's brother? His role is now exposed, and while some people may still be in denial, the truth is staring them right in the face. The audio leak isn't just a whisper anymore. It's a full-blown scream, and it's forcing us to confront the most uncomfortable questions. How deep does this conspiracy go? Who else is involved? And what will the consequences be for those who thought they could keep this buried? Let's start with the legal consequences. With this explosive leak, the courts are about to become a whole new battlefield. Durk's brother is now under intense scrutiny. And it's not just the audio that's got everyone's attention. No, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that could lead to serious legal ramifications. What's worse for Durk is that his name is tied to this mess. He might not have been directly involved in the murder plot, but the association? That's going to follow him everywhere. In the coming weeks. Don't be surprised if we see a series of legal battles unfold. Courtroom drama, criminal investigations, possible indictments. It's all on the table now. This isn't just about a family dispute anymore. It's about power, manipulation, and a conspiracy that could ruin multiple lives. As the investigation unfolds, Durk and his team will be forced to answer some serious questions. What did he know, and when did he know it? Could he have stopped it all before it escalated? Or was he just another pawn in a much bigger game? And here's the kicker. It's not just Durk's brother who's on the line here. There's talk that other powerful figures in the industry may have played a part in this scandal, from influencers in the media to high-ranking individuals who thought they could pull the strings and keep everyone in line. Guess what? Those people are now feeling the heat. The audio leak has set off a chain reaction, and it's only a matter of time before others get pulled into this. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are whispers that certain influential people have already started distancing themselves from Durk and his brother. The fallout from this leak is real, and it's having a domino effect on the relationships and business deals that Durk has spent years building. Investors are nervous, sponsors are backing out, and even the most loyal fans are starting to question the integrity of the man they've been supporting. And don't think for a second that the media is going to let this slide. The public backlash is already brewing, and it's becoming impossible to ignore. Every headline, every viral post, every comment, they're all focused on one thing now: the truth. The media has been spinning this story since day one, but now with the evidence coming out, they're having to backpedal. You can bet that the next round of headlines is going to be even more explosive. They won't just be talking about Durk and his brother. They'll be pulling in every other suspect, every other angle, every other theory that could tie back to this dark conspiracy. As the tension grows, we have to wonder, will there be criminal charges? The courts may not be the only place where justice is served. Rumors are already circulating that the FBI is quietly looking into the situation. People close to the investigation say that they've been monitoring the leak for months, collecting evidence to piece together a case that could bring down the entire network behind this. And if that's true, then we're looking at a massive criminal case that could change the trajectory of Durk's career, and maybe even his freedom. But let's zoom out for a second and consider the bigger picture. This isn't just about Durk's brother. This is about the culture of secrecy and manipulation that runs deep within the entertainment industry. This leak is just one example of how powerful individuals can hide the truth, influence public opinion, and manipulate the narrative. Durk's brother may have been caught, but what about the others in the industry who are just as guilty, if not more so? As we await the fallout, one thing is certain: the game is changing. The public isn't as naive as they used to be. They're no longer willing to sit back and watch as the rich and powerful get away with murder, both literally and figuratively. This scandal has opened up a Pandora's box, and as more leaks surface, more details come to light, and more people get pulled into the chaos. The question remains: who will be left standing when the dust settles? The consequences of this scandal are far from over. What's next for Durk and his family? Will they be able to rebuild their empire? Or has this leak destroyed everything they've worked for? It's hard to say, but one thing is for sure: the world is watching, and the truth? It's coming out, whether anyone likes it or not. As we move forward, the story doesn't just end here. The more we dig, the more we uncover, and trust me when I say that we've only scratched the surface. Stay tuned, because the real truth is just getting started. Buckle up, it's going to get a lot crazier from here. So, there you have it. The shocking truth about Durk's brother and his involvement in Von's murder plot. The leak is out, the consequences are spreading, and the world is watching closely. But here's the real question. What happens next? Will Durk's brother face justice? Or is this just the beginning of a much bigger conspiracy? And more importantly, how will Durk respond to the massive allegations against his own flesh and blood? The truth is finally starting to come to light, but this is far from over. There are still so many unanswered questions, and as the legal battles unfold, we're going to be right here bringing you every shocking update. So, what do you think? Do you believe Durk's brother is guilty? Or is this all just another setup? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you. If you're as shocked by this as we are, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support for the truth coming out. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a jaw-dropping update. Trust me, we've got more explosive stories coming your way, and you won't want to miss what happens next. The game has changed, and we're exposing all the secrets, one truth at a time. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned, because the biggest revelations are yet to come. You won't believe what's coming next in this scandal.